microphone is loose tonight. I don't know what that really means. Do you know what it means?
I don't want to know anymore.
Yeah.
Stop
Okay. Welcome,
one and all.
Welcome to the Sports Porch Philadelphia, where you are currently watching us live all over the world on social media. We are on Facebook. We are on LinkedIn. We are on YouTube. We are on Twitter.
We're everywhere.
And we are going to be dropping the podcast right after the show. So thank you for joining us. I'm here with the Grand Schwabini.
And happy Labor Day, everybody.
Yes, happy Labor. What did you do today? Did you do anything?
I did actually just come from a barbecue at my mother-in-law's.
Very nice.
Some hot dogs, some kebabs, chicken kebabs, some apple pie, and some corn on the cob.
Kielbasi? Any kielbasi?
No, this was just straight all-American.
It was straight all-American. Okay, well, listen, man, I want to remind you guys that you can always follow the Sports Porch Philadelphia podcast. If you don't catch us live, after the show, we drop it on iHeart, Spotify, Apple, anywhere you get your podcasts. And, of course, you can catch the Phillies report on the podcast before and after every series the Grand Schwabini speaks. Big news here. Let's go right here. Big news. The 2023 cheesesteak champion Curly's. What, Schwaber? What's the news? What do we got?
I had a conversation with Curly himself today.
Yeah.
Obviously really thankful to all his customers who came out and supported them, and just thrilled to be the winner this year. And next week, and it's not gonna be a tease. He's gonna come on right away at the top of the hour next week. We're gonna have Curly himself on to just kind of share a little bit about how Curly's got started and kind of where they are today.
Yeah, and I can't wait to taste this cheesesteak.
Yeah, it's exciting. So really cool guy.
Yeah,
really had a good conversation today. So he's going to be on next week. I'm going to be sort of promoting it all week, just so everybody gets their eyes on it. So we want to have all the Curly's fans tune in and hear what he has to say. Really great guy.
Yeah, can't wait. Yeah. Is he going to deconstruct a cheesesteak for us?
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
And I heard he has good wings too. Apparently,
I heard he has great wings, and that's for you.
I know. I'm a wing guy all the way.
You're like a walking chicken wing.
I am.
That's the truth.
I wish I was the size of a walking chicken wing.
Right.
More
like a chicken breast.
Yeah. It's horrible. All right. Thanks for that comment, Steve DeFlitch. Awesome. He's telling us we are live on internet radio right now, but we'll break that some other time. But he's telling us it sounds great. Okay, the Phils, they're still number one in the wild card in spite of recent struggles. What do you say about that, Schwaber? They lost 3 in a row and then they rebounded
and
give
won
me your
the
take
last
on
game.
this. Do we have anything to worry about?
No, I don't think we have anything to worry about. The only thing that's frustrating with the Phillies is that every one of these games that they lost in that 3-game losing streak, they certainly could have won. The first game, Harper hits the 300th home run to give them the lead, and we can't get 3 outs in the 9th, and we lose it.
Yeah, Kimbrel.
Yeah, and then the second game, we got a 5-4 lead late in the 8th inning, in the bottom of the 8th, and the Brewers hit a ground ball to end the inning. And Alec Boehm commits a pretty horrible error, and it's a 3-run error, and then they lose 7-5.
Gotta hate that.
And I don't even remember what it was in the next game, but it was same kind of thing. Like I think they were ahead 5-4, and they lost 7-5 late.
Yeah.
But look, there's going to be times where some guys are going to struggle, but the reality is that. They always fight. They always come back. They had a nice win the other day. They were down 2-0, kind of middle innings. And then they had a power surge. They had Real Muto went deep, and it was just a blast. Did you happen to watch that on
No, I did not see that. I've been a little busy lately.
Okay. You know how when a home run's hit to center field, if it's hit really far, it might actually be hit like into bushes or stuff like that out there.
Yeah.
Well, this was like, imagine like one, there was no bushes, but there's just like a big black area. So like the batter's eye.
Yeah.
And then above it is like the actual like giant scoreboard.
Yeah.
And Real Muto hit it like bang off the scoreboard.
Yeah.
It was an absolute blast.
It was a blast.
Yeah, and then Alec Boehm went back to back with him, and Turner knocked in a run, and then Kimbrel got his 22nd save. So they rebounded. They're playing the Padres tonight. Padres are kind of like, I mean, they're almost out of it at this point.
Yeah, which is if you're a Padres fan, you got to be super, kind of like a Mets fan this year. You got to be super pissed off about that.
Yep. And so, so the bottom line is with the Phillies is that, look, the reason why it's more likely that the Braves will win instead of the Phillies is because the Braves are a complete team.
Yeah, I'll say.
Whereas
they've won 90 games already.
Whereas the Phillies are a very good team, but a team with flaws. Phillies fielding isn't as good as the Braves.
Yeah.
Now the Phillies pitching
is pretty good.
Is actually probably better than the Braves, but the Phillies, when I say the Phillies have flaws, take Aaron Nola. He's your number 2 starter.
Right.
And 2 and 3 games ago, it looks like he's back on track. He has 2 great outings in a row. And then the other day he throws up his worst outing of the season. Gave up like 7 runs in like 4 innings.
Inconsistency.
Yeah, I mean, and there was a point where Topper said it's a competition for who's the number 2 playoff starter if we get there.
Yeah.
And then after these 2 starts, he comes out and he says, "No, I give Aaron Nola a vote of confidence. He's my number 2 guy." And then he goes out and lays an egg.
Yeah.
So now, there's no way he can walk that back now.
No.
So we're stuck with Aaron Nola as our number 2, and I think he's the biggest weakness on the team.
So, interesting that would happen this year.
Yeah. So I mean, the bottom line is, I sort of feel like, the way the situation is like, look, when you get to the playoffs, you can't worry about anybody's feelings.
True.
You just got to go out there and you got to make the right decisions. Think about it this way. Like, as much as we hate the New England Patriots, right?
Well, speak for yourself, but
I think most of Philadelphia hates the Patriots.
Okay. Well, I hate's a strong word.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Get used to it.
I liked Tom Brady back in the day.
But the point is that what would have made the most sense would have been playing Drew Bledsoe in the Super Bowl. But Belichick made the hard decision,
right,
to play the unproven rookie who he thought was special.
And he was special.
Right. And so
that's kind of the way I feel about you sometimes.
Thank you.
You're the unproven rookie who I think could be special.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So for me, this is a Topper hard decision to make. Like, I think you go into these playoffs and I think you make the hard decision that you take Nola out and you put Michael Lorenzen in.
Well, there's time.
Yeah.
Let's say
maybe.
let's say he lays an egg in his next start. I think you got a better chance at Topper walking that back. And I wouldn't put that past him. I mean, and looking at the standings right now, as far as the wild card goes, they're 5.5 up.
Right.
Over the Marlins, who are in the 3rd place, and there's a virtual 3-way tie for the 3rd place right now between the Marlins, the Diamondbacks, and the Reds. And there are those nasty Cubs, man. I told you at the beginning of the season they would be here, and here they are. And 75 and 61, that's what, 136 games in. So we literally have 26 games left.
Right.
I mean, it's not unheard of. But it would be a pretty big letdown if the Phillies did not make a wild card.
Sure.
So now it's kind of like but now it gets tough because you're in a position where it's a good position. It's fairly solid, but one injury, a 5-game losing streak, and somebody gets hot, so you still have to play the game.
Right. And the thing is there's a huge difference between the number 1 and the number 2 and 3 wild card.
Exactly.
The number 1 wild card plays a series with potential all 3 home games in the series at home.
Right.
The number 2 and the number 3 have to go on the road for 2 or potentially 3 games.
Right.
So you have to win 2 of 3 on the road.
Right.
Where I mean, think about it this way. Like, imagine you either have to, let's say you're the number 1 wild card and you're playing, let's say the Cubs are number 2. Okay. You have to win 2 of 3 from the Cubs at home, where you're like, 20 games over 500 at home.
Right.
Versus you have to go, you're number 2 and you have to play the Cubs, who are number 1. You have to win 2 of 3 in Wrigley, where you're 1 game under 500 on the road, and I'm sure they're above 500 at home.
Right.
Right. So it's a huge deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you really got to be in that number.
And to back
spot.
that up, the Cubs are actually 7 games over 500 at home and 3 games over 500 away. And the Phillies are 15 games over 500 at home and 1 game under, like you said, 500. The Marlins are kind of in the same. They're 38-31 at home and 32-36 on the road. And the rest of them really don't matter. It's, you can do the math.
Yeah.
I am really kind of amazed at the Padres, and not the Mets for some reason, but how bad the Padres were this year. I watched them play a few games this year. I probably watched them 6 or 7 times, and their attitude sucked. That's why they lost.
Yeah, they do. They have a bad attitude. Like that Juan Soto.
Yeah.
They constantly talk about he barely cares out there, it seems.
No.
He puts up numbers, he probably likes to hit, but he doesn't make effort in the field. And
no. My impression of that whole team, and when Manny Machado came into the league, I was a pretty big fan of his. I thought he was a great player. And he still is a pretty good player.
Is a good player.
Yeah. But his attitude was different. And just watching that San Diego team play, it was as if when they walk on the field, and I can't believe they would still act this way. They were just like, we're so good, we're gonna beat everybody.
That's what they think. What brought them all down? Those guys from last year who did the video.
Yes.
That's what's it.
Yeah, I know. I know. I mean? It
was like,
what a shame.
But that was kind of like a microcosm of what they are.
Yeah.
They think they're the shit.
Yeah. And they're not.
They're not.
Not even close.
Not
even close.
Not even close.
And the
all.
Phillies demonstrated that, fairly succinctly.
Right.
So, we got 26 games to go or something like that.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, man, Trey Turner is still just red hot.
Yeah.
Like you realize this was about, I'm going to say it was about a month ago now, if not like 3.5 weeks, when they gave him that standing ovation. At that time, he was hitting 230 with.
It was over a month ago.
He was hitting 230 with 10 home runs.
Yeah, bad year.
And 40 RBIs.
Right.
And now it's like a month later, he's got 21 home runs.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's got 64 RBIs. He's got, over 30 doubles. He's got his average up to 262.
Yep.
Something like that.
Because he's been batting 330,
350 or
350.
something. If he keeps it up, you might look at his numbers at the end of the year and be like, he had a great year.
Yeah. Well, that's the bottom line. He would have had a great, he will have had a great year.
I mean, think of it.
Just got off those slow start.
Right. If he gets his average up even to 280 and hits 26 home runs and 35, 40 doubles.
Yeah.
I mean, he's actually ended up having a decent year.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny. That's all he needed.
Right.
He needed the fans to say, hey, look, we get it. We get it. It's new ballpark, different side of the country, totally different atmosphere. You're pushing too hard. You're better than this. We know that. Just go get it. And he did.
It's true.
He did. And now, and now that he's settled down, I mean, baseball is, there's a lot of nerves, a lot of superstition, a lot of things. And and you can say, I mean, their pitching has been pretty solid.
Yeah.
And the stats you sent me from X, formerly known as Twitter, which I'm tired of saying. Right. They show that their pitching actually has ended up being pretty good all year.
Yeah.
Given the whole, taking the entire performance.
Right.
But you can really say that ever since Trey Turner started playing and hitting better, that's the turnaround that the team has seen. Yeah.
That's where you went from 4 games over 500 to 15 over 500.
Yeah, which is totally solid.
Right.
Totally solid.
And also too, it's also at about the same time you had Bryce Harper's power stroke came back.
Right.
Because he also went from 5 home runs to 15.
Yeah.
So he hit a bunch.
That was expected considering the injury he had and coming back. It was kind of like, all right, it's going to take him a little while to get his power stroke back, but he did.
Yeah. They set a record actually for any Phillies team, most home runs in a month.
Yeah. Wow.
I think it was 69 home runs.
Holy hell.
In the months of August.
That's crazy.
And I think it leads the majors for this year.
Yeah.
And I think they already have 7 home runs in this month.
Yeah, crazy. And we haven't
2 days in.
We haven't even talked about Kyle Schwarber. So yeah,
he's up to. I think he's up to 39 now.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Still batting 180.
I think he hit 190.
All right. Well,
but he's
better.
But he's got 39 homers. I think he's got 88 RBIs. He's got 106 walks.
Just imagine if he could. Just imagine if he could bring his average up to 210.
Well,
that's crazy.
Well, what's interesting is obviously when you're batting that low, it means you're really streaky.
Yeah.
Right. So he got on a hot streak again in August. So I looked at his number. In August, he hit 255.
Yeah. Right.
So and he hit probably 8 or 9 home runs.
Right.
Right. But then when he's bad, he's really bad.
Yeah, right.
That's the thing about guys like that. But still, and again, he had another 2 leadoff home runs, although they finally did lose on the leadoff home run. So they're now 7-2 with the leadoff home runs. But still, bottom line is whenever you hit a leadoff home run, you feel really great.
Well, you put the chances. And
they're automatically playing behind.
You're right. And the pitcher gets rattled because he's like, oh my God, it's first batter. Do I have my stuff?
Right.
Did I bring my stuff with me?
Right. Exactly. That really is insane, isn't it? 9 of your 39 home runs are first inning.
It's crazy. First at bat. Yeah. It is crazy. Okay. So I want to remind everybody that you can catch the Phillies report on the Sports Porch Philadelphia podcast before and after every series. We drop it. The Grand Schwabini talks about that. And again, the 2023 cheesesteak champion, Curly's Comfort Food. Curly will be on the show next week. I think he's going to be dialing it in, right?
Yep,
We're going to get a phone call. He's going to dial it in. We're going to talk Philadelphia cheesesteaks. Can't wait to do that. Now,
it's football season.
NFL predictions. Who's going to win it all?
We got a game in 3 weeks, 3 days.
3 weeks.
3 days. 3 days.
Yeah. Who's going to win it all? Let's see. This is the time when we make predictions that we know are most likely not going to happen. But
for those who are not the Grand Schwab,
that's right. That's
and do
right.
not know how to predict.
That's right. So I'm going to let you lead this off, Schwaber, because I got to put my glasses on. And because I'm getting old, getting old. So predictions, who's going to win it all? I'll tell you what, let's start with the NFC.
And let's go NFC East first.
Right.
No surprise. I've got the Eagles.
Yeah. I've got you've got yours written down, right?
Right.
Okay. So I've got the Eagles too.
Okay.
How about the NFC
North?
Now, do we want to embellish a little? I've got the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to run away with it. I don't believe in I think maybe the Cowboys push it. I think the Giants are just a bunch of, I don't even talk about them. And the Commanders have a rookie quarterback. So
I mean, the Cowboys, that's sort of the wild card to me. I feel like they could go either way.
Right.
I feel like they could potentially push the Eagles kind of as they did last year, or they could become a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
I think there's a possibility of that.
Yeah. Well, no, Zeke on that team.
Well, I just
relying on Pollard. He gets injured.
I just also think about I don't know, man. I'm not a big believer in Mike McCarthy and the fact that he's taken over the reins of all the play calling and
they also apparently traded for Trey Lance and he wasn't in on the deal.
Right.
Which I think is strange.
Right. But it also lets you know that they're not 100% all in on Dak anymore.
Yeah, that's very true. But
I mean, Dak's the quarterback. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But don't be surprised. Like if the Cowboys miss the playoffs this year,
it'll be a totally different story.
It could be Trey Lance next year.
Yeah, which I think is horrible, to be honest with you. Actually, I kind of like that because I don't really like the Cowboys. All right, NFC North.
I'm gonna
Bears, Lions, Packers, Vikings.
I'm gonna go Lions.
Are you really?
Yeah. Have to.
Why? Because why?
I mean, I don't believe
you have to.
Yeah. I don't believe in the Bears just because I don't. Now, look, maybe Justin Fields takes a huge leap, maybe a leap like Jalen Hurts did last year.
That.
But I still don't think like you can't win enough games to make the playoffs when you're counting on your quarterback to not just run for 100 yards, but to run for like 170 yards.
Yeah, I know that.
You know what I mean?
The Bears,
I just don't think they have enough. Packers, I mean, how can you? Look, I actually think Jordan Love might be all right, but I can't put him in the playoffs at this point.
No.
And then who's left beyond that?
The Vikings.
The Vikings. I don't know. I mean, they just scream 500 to me every year.
That's funny, but they weren't 500 last year.
No, but
I have the Vikings winning the North.
But do you remember though? Last year they were like, at one point they were like 13-3, but like they were in the minus in point differential.
Yeah.
It's like they won all these games by one point.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see how their defense.
So I got
does.
Lions. You got Vikings.
I got the Vikings.
Okay.
I don't think I think the Lions are definitely getting better. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to win the division this year.
Okay.
Maybe next year. Next year. Okay. NFC South, which I always write Central for some reason. I don't know why.
No, the South is another one.
Falcons, Panthers, Saints, and Buccaneers.
Which basically means there's going to be a bad team in the playoffs. I mean, they might not be bad record-wise. Maybe they end up 10-7. Maybe they end up 9-8. But I don't think it's going to be more than that.
I actually think looking at this division, I actually think that there would be a pretty good excuse for if they're leaving the division winner out of the playoffs because they're probably going to be under 500.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a team that misses the playoffs that's better than the team that wins this division.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. So who do you got? Who do you got?
I'm going Saints.
You're going Saints.
I'm just going with
Derek Carr.
The pure fact of I think Derek Carr. I think Carr is the best quarterback in the division.
Yeah, because you got Mayfield and C.J. Stroud and Devin Ritter.
Right. Well, no, it's Panthers have
the other guy, Bryce Young. C.J. Stroud is
Texans.
This is a total toss up for me. I you know what? I have to use the process of elimination. There is no way Tampa Bay wins this division. No way.
Yeah, I don't think so.
There is no way that Carolina wins this division.
Probably not.
No way. So it comes down to the Falcons and the Saints, and you pick the Saints. So you know what? I'm picking the Falcons.
All right.
All righty. NFC West. We got the Cardinals, the Rams. This is easy. The 49ers or the Seahawks.
49ers.
Hall of Fame. That's right. Brock Purdy. Hall of Fame. Okay. I got the 49ers there too. I can't, I heard some guys picking the Seahawks because the coaching staff and blah, blah, blah. But look, Geno Smith, congratulations. You had a good year.
Yeah, but
stuck it out.
Nobody believes in Geno Smith.
No.
He's not getting it done in a big game. No. Come on.
No. Okay. Do you want to do the wild card teams now?
Sure.
Wild card, NFC wild card.
I went Giants, Rams, Cowboys.
Giants, Rams, Cowboys. I am going to say, Cowboys, Seahawks, and that's tough, man. You went Giants, Rams, Cowboys. Yeah, I'm saying Cowboys, Seahawks, and I don't want to say the Giants. Cowboys, Seahawks, Rams.
Okay.
Because I think the Cowboys, they got one more year in them where they're going to make it like look decent.
Yeah.
You know, I do think the Seahawks are a better team.
What about? I'm surprised you left the Lions out. You don't think they're going to get a wild card?
No.
Okay.
I think that Jared Goff is not going to. No.
You're not a believer in Jared Goff.
No, I'm not a believer in Jared Goff. Okay, AFC. NFC champ, the title game.
Well, I think we can do that. After
you want to do it? Yeah, we'll do that. All right. Okay, AFC East. You have the Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, Jets.
I got the Bills.
Yeah, I this is their last year.
This is it.
As far as I'm concerned, that's it. Yeah, it's going to be real tough. Sorry, Pat. AFC North, Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Steelers.
Bengals.
Man, this is a tough one, man.
Joe Cool.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
Joey Barra.
Yeah, I mean, if the Ravens stay healthy, I think. Unfortunately, I agree with you. Bengals. Okay, the AFC South: Texans, Colts, Jaguars, Titans. Arguably, the two South divisions,
right?
Both the worst,
right? I'm going Jags. I mean, I think it's a toss-up between Jags and Titans.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But I'm going to go Jags, just thinking that, Trevor Lawrence is kind of more on the upswing than Tannehill's kind of more on the downswing.
Yeah. I can't just agree with you all the way down. I mean, so I'm going to go Titans because I think they've been there.
I could see them having a good year, though.
Okay, AFC West: Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers. Man, does it get any easier than this? Yep. Chiefs, so much for parity.
Yep.
So much for parity. Okay, so now we have the title game for the NFC Championship will be between.
Well, no, we got the wild cards in the NFC.
That is my fault. We have the wild cards.
That's why I'm here to keep you on track.
It is right. Thank you. Yes, I am not Pat, but sometimes I pretend to be.
Right.
Okay, so wild cards, AFC.
I am going to go Ravens, Chargers, Jets.
Ravens, Chargers, Jets. This is a tough one too. I may just have to take not going to do that. I am going to say Dolphins.
Mm-hmm. So Tua stays healthy.
Yeah, I'm going to say Dolphins, Jags, Chargers. Okay. Now we can go to where I was running, which is the NFC Championship game will be between.
I think it's a repeat. It's Eagles 49ers.
Eagles, yeah. I'm not sold on that. I think this is the year Kirk Cousins pushes the Vikings to the championship.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Eagles, Vikings.
Well, that would be just, being like getting a gift from God.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. All right. AFC Championship title game.
I'm going Bengals, Bills.
Yep. Bengals, Bills. Yeah, I am. You think the Chiefs are going to?
I think, the last time the Chiefs won, they didn't get back the next year.
Yep.
I think I actually, believe it or not, I think even though this is not statistically correct, I actually think nowadays in the different NFL, it's actually probably harder if you win the Super Bowl than if you lose it. This is my opinion.
Well,
I mean, I'm wrong as far as the statistics of it. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But I sort of feel that way now.
I don't know.
I kind of do.
Know. Okay.
Kind of do.
You could be right. Yeah. Can you see I'm in an agreeable mood?
It seems like you are.
Very agreeable.
Yeah. It seems like you probably had a rough day elsewhere.
Yeah. I bet. If you only knew. Okay. So title game, NFC champ, Eagles, Vikings. I already know who you're picking.
It's the Eagles.
Of course. And I'm going with the Eagles too, because I don't think Kirk Cousins takes him to the promised land. Title game, AFC.
I'm thinking Joe Cool is back.
Ooh.
Joe Cool is back, and the Bills again.
Yeah.
Can't get out of Buffalo.
Yep. And actually, I agree with you. I have them beating the Chiefs. So I've got Eagles, Bengals.
Ooh.
And so do you.
We do. How about that?
Who do you think wins?
I think the Eagles get it done this year.
You know what? I do too. So I don't even know why we're doing this. And listen, guys, we're not trying to agree. Trust me. If there's any people that disagree more than us, but I look at this year, and, in breaking down the NFC, there is look, and we know professional sports is it can go anywhere. I mean, somebody can come out of anywhere, especially in football right now.
Well, the Eagles did last year.
Exactly. So, you just look, we've had this discussion, on the Porch Philly here. The Eagles they just have a complete team, and they have the most complete team in the NFC. I don't think that if there was a team that is not closer, if there's a team that's close to them as far as position by position, it's probably the 49ers.
Right.
And Purdy is Hall of Fame. Purdy is definitely a wild card.
Yeah, he's a wild card. So you can't say it at this point.
Right, exactly.
It might be different, if he picks up where it was last year and he's playing that way for 14 weeks, it might be a different story.
Absolutely. I also think that the Vikings offense, and I think Kirk Cousins is one of the most unlucky great quarterbacks in the league, because he is the victim of, I don't have a good defense. And the people that say, well, he can't come back, he orchestrated the greatest comeback in NFL history last year when they went down to the Colts. And they went down to the Colts because their defense sucked. So it's kind of like, if the Vikings, that's why I think the Vikings are going to be in the title game, because I watched Quarterback on Netflix. I think Cousins, first of all, overthinks everything. That's the reason he's not going to win the Super Bowl. It's not because he doesn't have the talent. He overthinks everything. And right now, his team doesn't really have a great defense. If that defense can bring itself into the top 10, which is unlikely, they have a chance of beating the Eagles. But I don't see that happening. I just don't see that happening. On the AFC side of things, I agree with you that the Chiefs are
the best team.
Yes, but there are teams that are closer to them than there are teams that are closer to the Eagles.
Right. Exactly.
And the Bengals, even though the Chiefs were able to shake that last year and beat the Bengals, the Bengals have their number.
They do.
Yeah.
And it really was. I mean, look, we don't know how it would have ended, but it really was just one fool pushing Mahomes out of bounds to set up a game-winning field goal.
Yeah.
It before that happened, it looked like the Bengals were going to pull it out.
That is exactly right. Yeah, it's a game of inches, and a couple different inches, a couple inches less, and maybe that doesn't happen. So, yeah, I think it's I would say that I am very solid on my Eagles pick as far as the way I feel about it. I am not as solid on my Bengals pick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not either. Just because I mean, honestly, I really look at, to me, it's Chiefs, Bengals, Bills is an entire toss-up.
Yes. Yeah.
It really is. It's an entire toss. Now, maybe towards the end of the year, we clearly see that one of them's playing better than another.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But like right now, before the season, it seems like any of them could win.
Yeah. And I would give the edge to the Bengals and the Chiefs, because the Bills seem to self-destruct by the end of the year. I don't know what it is with Josh Allen, but man, it's like he's great. And then all of a sudden it's almost like a switch goes on and he gets stupid near the end of the year. It's almost like he's pushing too hard.
Kind of
fumbles.
Kind of is. It's very strange.
Yeah.
But then, like also too, like, sometimes just the unexplained happens. Like, if that injury doesn't happen to DeMar Hamlin last year,
that was the big,
and that's really what gave the Chiefs the home field advantage.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, you got to take last year out of it.
Yeah, because the Bills win that game, they're playing with home field advantage. Maybe they go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, there really was a big advantage to that game not being finished.
Right. I agree.
To the Chiefs.
I agree. Okay. So.
And who gets the MVP for the year, the season?
You want me to say Jalen Hurts. I know you want me to
I don't want you to say anything. I want you to speak from the heart.
Are you talking offense and defense?
We could do offense and defense.
All right. So the NFC Offensive Player of the Year. Well, here's the thing. If the Eagles do go to the Super Bowl, most likely it's going to be Jalen Hurts.
Sure.
If the Niners go to the Super Bowl, it's probably going to be because of Brock Purdy. Like, it's not going to be Deebo Samuel.
Maybe Christian McCaffrey.
Or maybe McCaffrey.
Right. But remember, it's not always the person who, takes his team to the Super Bowl. Right. I mean, because I believe they do the voting on that before the end of the year.
Right.
Or like at the end of the year.
That's true.
So, it could be, like for all I don't know, maybe on the Rams, like, now this isn't going to happen because he's already injured, but like, let's say like Cooper Kupp went off for like 2,000 yards. It could be Cooper Kupp.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So,
I don't think it's going to be Cooper Kupp.
No, I mean, chances are pretty good if he stays healthy, it'll be Jalen Hurts.
It's hard to predict,
but it's hard to say. I mean, look, it's also, I mean, the other one that's easy as can be is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I mean, who's better than Patrick Mahomes? Really nobody.
No.
Nobody.
Kenny Pickett. Right? I think Kenny Pickett's going to be.
But I mean, but again, like, you never know. Like, depending on how the way the year goes, what if Josh Allen and the Bills are 16-1 this year?
Yeah.
Okay, then Josh Allen's going to win it.
Most likely.
And I would say now I'm leery on the Bengals having a crazy good record simply because of the injury to Joe Burrow. But same kind of thing. Let's say the Bengals are the 1 seed and they go 15-2. Joe Burrow's going to get it.
Most likely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what's most likely.
Yeah. That's why I don't want to make a prediction on that.
Yeah.
Because you have no idea.
Okay. All right.
You have no idea.
Well, how about just overall MVP for the whole league?
Who's going to be like the best player?
Yeah. Like every year there's one MVP. It was that last year was Patrick Mahomes. Jalen Hurts was finished second.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to go with Jalen Hurts then because, I've got the Eagles winning it. And if they win it, it's because
of him.
He's playing even better than he played last year. And really, the crazy thing is there is room for him to get better.
Right.
It's not like he was bad, but there is room for him to get better.
There is.
And so what I hope for is this is and we've talked about this before. This is the tell year for Jalen Hurts. Because the Eagles are now on everybody's radar.
Right.
Everybody they're playing. They've been studying this tape for the game, whether it's week 1, or week 17. Every team that has to play the Eagles has had a guy studying tape all off season.
Yep.
So it's kind of like, what are his tendencies? What are his tells? What are his tricks? And so the great quarterbacks, they are able to transcend that and continue to play at a high level.
Right.
I expect him to do that, to be honest with you. I expect him to do that. I think that he is that type of player.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah. I do too. And then, even if, even that being said, though, I also sort of look at it in terms of, okay, well, let's just say that some defenses do come up with some pretty good plans. Okay. And let's just say that, maybe Jalen Hurts is not a top 3 quarterback, but let's say he's like top 6.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Even so, who's going to cover AJ Brown?
Right.
Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert.
Right.
DeAndre Swift coming out of the backfield.
You got running backs.
Right.
Yeah, you've got a great offensive
line. Yeah. He's not going to be touched very often.
Yeah.
You know,
No, I
like,
agree.
yeah.
I
So
agree.
it's like, it's kind of like there's so much talent around him as well that it'll be pretty hard to really stop them. I mean, somebody might do it in a game or two.
Oh,
You know?
sure. There's always a
Yeah.
bad game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it could be the first game. Who's their
Could
first
be.
game?
At New England.
At New England. That's right. And I picked New England to win that game because Belichick is he's a great game planner.
Yeah.
I mean, he really is. But I would say, even though I picked him in our Eagles picks, sorry guys. I still think that's a 50-50 shot as my pick. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm not 100% behind that.
I kind of agree and get it. I mean, I'm kind of going on, I think there's like two ways this is going to go. I think one way is the Eagles are going to come out and they're going to want to show everybody that it's on to the next and last year's in the rearview mirror, and they're going to just blow them out.
Right.
Or it's going to come down to a field goal because the Eagles come out flat.
Yeah.
That's what I think it's
and that's kind of why I'm saying that.
Right.
I think if they come out flat, that plays into his expertise at game planning for something like this. And then, you go out on a field goal.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Right. All right. So we actually ended up in the same place.
Yep.
Eagles, Bengals with the Eagles.
Yep.
Which really doesn't surprise me. I mean, it is a Philadelphia sports show.
No, but
I mean, just imagine if we picked somebody the Eagles not to win it.
Well, no. To be honest,
considering how good they are.
To be fair, last year, I don't know if I had the Eagles making the playoffs or if I did, it was a wild card.
Yeah, well, I mean,
you know what I mean?
That was based on the fact that the year before wasn't.
But I mean,
what do you expect?
Yeah, but honestly, a
guy named Carson Wentz was still in.
I really don't try to see this as a I really try hard not to be a homer. Right. I'm telling you right now, I think there's a chance that the Phillies could win the World Series, but you can tell from the way I'm talking, I don't think it's going to happen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like now, if this was a total homer show, I'd be telling you the Phillies are winning the World Series.
Yeah, don't be a homer.
That's right. You gotta be honest. And I think you are kind of speaking honestly, just in terms of, the one thing that the Eagles do have that is a huge benefit is they very much so play in the lesser conference.
Right. Right now.
I mean, even if you just think about the AFC beyond the Chiefs, the Bengals, and the Bills, beyond that, you got Justin Herbert out there.
Yep.
Now you have Aaron Rodgers out there. You got Lamar Jackson out there.
There's a lot of good quarterbacks.
There's a ton out there.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a lot of question marks at quarterback in the NFC.
Yeah.
I agree.
There's a lot of question marks. I mean, you're basically saying okay, if you want to give Kirk Cousins the nod as like the second best NFC quarterback, okay. I
would.
Next,
I do give.
I think you probably, but really, who's after that? I mean, it's like you're choosing between Brock Purdy, who's played like 6 games.
Can't put him up there yet.
Right.
Hall of Fame. You still can't put him up there.
Dak Prescott, who's good.
He's up there.
He's good, but he was pretty bad last year.
Yeah.
Jared Goff.
Yeah, you can't.
That's the thing. We rattled off 9 names in the AFC.
Right.
Of stud quarterbacks, and it's a struggle to get to 3 in the NFC.
Yeah. Well, it's a struggle to get beyond 3.
Right.
Yeah, really.
Right.
If you think about it.
Right.
So, all right. Well, I'll tell you what, man. We'll see as the year plays out. We will keep these around, and unfortunately, we can't make a bet because we both picked the same. We can't say I'll have to wear a Bengals hat if the Eagles win.
You always want to do something childish.
I do. That's what my wife always says. Stuck at 12. That's going to be our new podcast. Welcome to Stuck at 12.
Yeah.
I think we could have some fun with that.
Yep.
All right.
Well,
listen, man, I want to thank everybody for watching us all across the world on social media. Absolutely. We're going to drop the podcast soon after the show. Follow the Sports Porch Philadelphia podcast on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, or anywhere you podcast. And remember, next week, I can't wait to meet Curly, the 2023 Philadelphia Beautiful Cheesesteak Champion. We'll be on the show next week. And man, I'm already getting hungry.
Me too, man.
Yeah, I am. I'm
Me
already
too.
getting hungry. That's crazy. Oh, and Amy chimes in and says,
Good show.
Good show.
I couldn't agree with you anymore, Amy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's
Absolutely.
a cute little dog you have on your picture there.
Yeah. You must know that dog.
Yeah.
You must know that dog. All righty, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week. I am your technical director, and I am out.
And I am your Grand Schwalbini predicting good things for the Eagles this year.
Take it easy.
I'm rubbing a lamp.